A barrel of oil just hit $100. And I know oil prices sounds like something for traders and analysts to worry about. But here's the thing. That barrel of oil, it touches every single thing on your kitchen table tonight. The bread, the milk, the eggs, all of it was shipped on a truck that runs on diesel. And diesel comes from that same $100 barrel. So let me walk you through what's actually happening and why your grocery bill is about to get worse. Elena, let's start with the big picture. What kicked this off?
So, oil didn't just randomly jump to 100. It spiked about 9% in a short window. And the reason is a pileup of disruptions all hitting at the same time. Start with the Red Sea. Normally, a huge amount of global shipping flows through there. Right now, traffic is down almost 75%. That's not a slowdown. That's basically a shutdown. So what happens? Tankers have to go the long way around Africa. That adds about 10 to 14 extra days per trip. More days means more fuel burned, more crew costs, higher insurance, and every one of those costs gets added to the price of whatever's on that ship.
So let's make that real. Say you're buying olive oil from the Mediterranean or electronics from Asia. That container used to take a pretty direct route. Now it's going thousands of extra miles around the southern tip of Africa. The shipping company isn't eating that cost. You are. At the grocery store, at the electronics store, on Amazon. And here's where it gets layered. Elena, talk about what's happening with the tankers themselves.
Right, so we've been tracking actual tanker movements, and this week, 7 oil tankers changed course. They're actively rerouting away from conflict zones. The Strait of Hormuz, where a massive share of the world's oil passes through, is heating up because Iran and Israel had over 20 hostile events in a single day. That's one of the most intense escalations we've tracked. When tankers start avoiding those routes, it means less oil gets where it needs to go, and it takes longer. That's a supply squeeze on top of a price spike.
And it's not just the Middle East. China is flying military planes over basically every major shipping lane in the world. We counted over 4,500 Chinese military flights in 1 week, over the Malacca Strait, through the Taiwan Strait, near Japanese naval bases, even near Turkey. These are the exact routes your stuff travels through. If any one of those lanes gets disrupted, prices spike overnight. Now, Elena, India. Why does the Indian rupee matter to someone watching this from, say, Ohio?
Great question. India's currency just hit a record low against the dollar. India imports about 85% of its oil, so when oil hits $100, India gets crushed. Their central bank is burning through reserves trying to prop up the rupee, but it's a losing battle. Why does that matter to you? Because a huge amount of the world's tech services, manufacturing, and customer support runs through India. When their costs go up, those companies pass it along. Your software subscription, your phone, your IT support, it all gets a little more expensive.
So let's stack this up. Oil at 100, shipping routes shut down, tankers rerouting, military flights over every trade lane, a major economy's currency collapsing. All of these are connected, and they all flow downhill to the same place, your kitchen table. Now here's one more thing that's kind of surprising. Elena, what's going on with gold?
This is the one that catches people off guard. Gold actually dropped about 4% this week, even with all this chaos. Normally, when the world gets scary, gold goes up. So why is it falling? It signals that the big institutional money, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, they're not panicking. They're repositioning. They're moving into cash or short-term positions because they think there's more volatility ahead. When the big money gets defensive like that, it usually means bumpier roads are coming.
And that's the signal to watch. When the big players start moving to the sidelines, that's when everyday people need to pay the most attention. So here's what this means for you. If you've got a variable rate mortgage, watch your rate. When oil drives inflation up, interest rates tend to follow. Your monthly payment could creep up. If you're saving, your dollar buys a little less every week this continues. That emergency fund you've been building, inflation is quietly shrinking it. And your grocery bill, it's not going down anytime soon, not while ships are taking the long way around Africa and oil is sitting at $100. This isn't doom and gloom. This is just reading the signals. And now you know what to look for. Elena, what's the one thing people should watch this week?
Strait of Hormuz. If tanker traffic slows through there any further, oil goes higher and everything we just talked about gets worse. That's the choke point to keep your eye on.
There it is. One lane, one number, one thing to watch. That's how you stay ahead. Subscribe, hit the bell. We track this every single week so you don't get blindsided.